Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. It is fantastic that you are here. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video from the band Christie, and through their song Yellow River we talked about the places that we need to escape to just to get away from the world for a while. So I trust you enjoyed that one. Well, we're going from there to a lass that was born in 1954 in the UK, but she has some massive links to Australia, certainly around the late 70s, early 80s. And this is due predominantly to an iconic show in Australia called Countdown that went for a number of years, and there was Molly Meldrum who would look at albums and say, do yourself a favour and buy this one, or this is the latest one, or this band's going to be really, really good. Bands such as the Bay City Rollers, bands such as Tina Turner, the Hooters, AC/DC, Dragon, Icehouse, you name it, everybody got on Countdown. And if you were a touring musician coming to Australia, you'd try and get on this show just to try and sell a few more concert tickets. This is really truly what Countdown meant to Australia. It was an every Sunday night thing you just tuned into because that's just what you did. The girl we're talking about today is Christie Allen. Now, as I said, born in the UK, but a lot of success in Australia because of Countdown in particular. She released the album 1979 at Magic Rhythm, and in 1980 the album Detour. And she was voted the most popular female performer in 1979 and 1980. She had a real resonance with teenagers and just sort of the groovy pop songs that you do and all the rest of it. So this is where we're going today. Now, Christie Allen did unfortunately die in 2008. She had pancreatic cancer and she was only 53 years old. So certainly my thoughts are with the Allen family, as I'm sure they're still mourning the loss of their daughter and their wife and their partner and their mum. So Christie Allen, yeah. So 2 albums, and there was also 8 singles released between 78 and 1981. So not a massive output, but certainly when she was around, she was pretty big, pretty massive. She just pretty much epitomised the Countdown thing, the pop thing, and really resonated with teenagers in particular. Now, there's one song that there's probably a couple of songs that we really need to talk about when we talk about Christie Allen, but there's one song in particular I do want to talk about, and that song, He's My Number One. And this came off the Magic Rhythm album, and it actually got to number 4 on the Australian charts. So pretty successful. So, but he's my number one. I think we can put she's my number one in there, or in this day and age, they are my number one. I hope that's covered everybody, by the way. I always think about these things before we talk. So he, she, they, and the concept of that when there is someone in your life partner, the person who makes your life complete, the person who, when you first laid eyes on them, went, oh, well, that's just like, wow, they're amazing. I just want to be with them. And they thought the same about you. So that's pretty cool. But number one, the concept is that this person is more important to you than anything else. We're going a bit beyond the whole affair thing today, because obviously that's just shouldn't happen. And if you are involved in an affair right now and you're watching this video, maybe this might prompt you to think, oh, maybe I need to stop while I still can. But it's probably too late because there's already betrayal for the person who probably has, for your partner who has no idea what's going on. So, but putting affairs aside for a second, let's talk about a person in a pretty committed relationship. Are you each other's number one? Are you above friends? Are you above work? Are you above meetings? Are you above? Are they above everything that you do? Are they your number one? Might think, well, but work's important, right? I mean, I got to work so that I can pay the bills. I've got to work because, that's just what you do. But it's when work takes over the whole of your life, that's when it becomes a problem. It's when when you can think about nothing else, that's when it becomes a problem. And the person, your partner, might be sitting home thinking, oh man, they're at work again. What am I meant to do while they're at work? And you might start to feel a little bit taken for granted because then you're not the number one. You might try your best to put the other person in at number one and try to do all the right things, but it's just not coming back the other way. It's a bit of a tricky situation to be in, I'm thinking. There's got to be moments where the world leaves. There's got to be moments when the world isn't there because you just have to be in each other's world, and that's all there needs to be because you are each other's number one. I think it's really, really important in this busy world that we're in, where often two parties need to work to actually make the mortgage payments. We've got children, we've got all of the stuff that goes on, and just the complete barrage of news that hits our senses every single second of the day. We've got to be able to pause and think, well, are they really number one? Because if they're not, one day you might get home and they're not there. You may see a note on the bench saying, look, just letting you know I love you and I think, it's been really, really good and everything, but I'm not important enough to you to hang around. And will you be thinking, oh, but just go back and work and just keep doing that? Or are you thinking, oh, yeah. Can easily happen when we're in relationships for a long time. We start to take each other for granted. We should never do that. There are some things we should take for granted, like, the love we have for each other and the stability of the world. I mean, it's not very nice to live in a house where things are very unstable and a bit strange and weird. But, love can be taken for granted. Trust can be taken for granted. The fact that when you talk, the other person will listen and vice versa. You can take that stuff for granted. The words that you say to each other, I love you, you are my world. Those kind of statements need to be said often. Because we all need assurance in this world. We all need to know that that special person in our life, that we kind of mean the world to them. This isn't a selfish thing, by the way. It's not like, oh, look, you just got to put your whole life on hold, your whole world on hold because I demand all of it. No, it's not that at all. Because we do get busy in this world. We do have causes we like to get involved in, and we do get involved in all of this sort of stuff. But there is an element of trust there that there will be moments when we leave that stuff to get back to our number one. And there may not be the pristine moments, and that may be, but we've got to be allowing space in our lives to ensure that the other person knows that they are special to you and you are special to them. This is the challenge in this busy world that we are in. We should never, ever, ever take our number ones for granted. We need to get excited by the fact that they're in our lives. We need to be passionate about the fact they're in our lives. We need to give ourselves completely to the other person, holding nothing back, holding absolutely nothing back. We need to give ourselves completely to them as they give themselves completely to you. That will only come through trust growing and friendship growing and all the rest of it. But you've got to regularly be able to say, you are my number one. And to be able to hear the words, you are my number one. It's pretty special indeed. And it's funny that the album, this song came off Magic Rhythm. There's something cool about being in each other's rhythms and meanderings and wanderings of life. We kind of just do life together and we're in sync with each other. There's something beautiful about that as well, because we have the trust that each of us constantly think we're each other's number one. So if you're in a relationship right now, it's all a bit strained and a bit weird and a bit hard, but you kind of don't want to leave. Perhaps you've got to come back to this thing of being each other's number one and being in that magic rhythm with each other. So as always with these videos, I trust that they will be an encouragement for you. And I just also need to say, trust me on this, I don't get this stuff all together either. I'm very much talking to myself as I'm talking to you guys about this stuff. So, you know, I'm not some expert shouting down at you here. I suppose just we're all in this stuff together, right? And I'm hoping that's what you walk away with. Well, on to the clips. And we have to have He's My Number One. This came off the Magic Rhythm album. And when was it? 1979. And again, number 4 on the Australian charts. And this is the official clip. This is the way clips were done back in the late 1970s, early 1980s. And turn it up a little bit, guys. It's a little bit on the quiet, so just crank your computer up a bit and just get really bopped away by this quite cool song that kind of took Australia by storm a little bit when it came out. So there's that one. We've also got, and this going on from the He's My Number One and how exciting that person makes you feel. You give me goosebumps, you make my body shiver. That sort of stuff, getting down with people and just getting in with them and just having that really fun, passionate time with them. Again, off the Magic Rhythm album. This was number 3 on the Australian charts, so slightly more successful, not quite as, but and relatively well known, I suppose, as well. This is a live clip, and this came from the Mushroom 25th anniversary concert back in 1998. Now, of course, Michael Gudinski, who was behind Mushroom, he recently left us, and it was a bit sad for the music world in general that he left us, but he did leave a legacy. And of course, we're going to get Christie Allen to perform at that concert because it was Mushroom Records that released both of her albums. So, Goosebumps, that is a live performance of that one, 1998. So, you know, she's in her late 30s, early 40s at this point. And so, but she still got it right, and she's got a pretty good band behind it. It's good to see an absolutely live version of that particular song. So both those clips, links to those clips are in the description below. That will be where you'll always find my links. I'm never going to embed my videos. They're in the description below. So click on those ones, and if you do remember Christie Allen, you may actually get a bit of a, oh yeah, I remember this song. It was pretty cool when it came out. And if you have never heard, like you were born in the 2000s, so like 1980s, like 20 years before that, there was some really good stuff happening in the 1980s. You might be thinking, oh, it's a bit dated, but it was pretty original as well. And so just get into it. What do you got to lose? There we go. And by the way, I've also included my last video from the band Christie. So if you want to recap on that one, feel free. Well, if you've come back for another video, really, really good for you to do so. And if you've got to this place, I love that. It's really, really great when you guys hang around. Really good indeed. And if this is your first time to live reflection through music, thank you very much for doing so. And I trust that you might come back for some more. But I just want to share one little thing before we finish up, and that is for all the people out there that feel like they need to drop pornographic links into the comments. Often, not long after the video has started, can I please ask you not to do that? I'm not judging here. I'm just saying, can we just not do it? Because it goes completely against what this channel's trying to be. You're not listening, you're not watching, so I can just ask people not to do that. That would be really, really great, because I want this channel to be a safe place for people, not to be put up with stuff like that. So I apologise for saying that. It's just happened a bit of late, and it makes me a bit sad, because I want this to be uplifting and encouraging to people, that is for sure. Well, that's it for today. Next time we're going to go on to another classical composer, but one of the classical composers really from the Baroque period, J.S. Bach, or Johann Sebastian Bach. And we're going to see him through the guitar mastery. Nothing short of that word is like almost an understatement for how good this guy is, Christopher Parkening. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.